Hey guys, it's Julie Salon. Thank you so much for being here today. This message is something that I actually was not prepared to talk about today, but I got so many great questions and reviews from you guys on the twin flame journey. And I know this is super popular. I know that so many of you are going through this. And I wanted to give you some more information. We could talk about this literally all day long for like a year, but my goal in doing these type of videos is to support you and help you. And twin flame, it's a real thing. What twin flame is someone that you have probably had a past life connection with. It's someone that you have a soul tie with. It's someone that you may even be two halves of the same soul. And it does not matter about where you live. You can actually live very far away from each other on separate continents. It's got nothing to do with age. One of you may be a little bit or quite a bit older than the other, and the other may be young. For instance, one may be in their 20s, one may be in their 50s. It does not matter the experiences that you've had before, because both of you will know that this is something life changing. Okay. And when I say that, what I'm talking about is that you will both feel a heart connection, right? Very, very quickly. You know, there's 7 billion people on the planet, I think. And this happens when you meet someone and your internal alarm bells and intuition goes off saying, this person understands me. This person I feel a strong connection with. And it can drive you both insane, right? Because if you've never experienced it before and you don't know what it's about, you'll find yourself asking these questions like, why do I feel so connected to you? More importantly, why can't I get you off my mind? Why can't I get away from you? Why is it that everywhere I go, you're there, right? And that's because it's a past life connection, right? Many of you may or may not know, but we all are here on earth right now. Our souls chose to be here. You signed up for this. You want to be here. And a lot of times the lessons that you have to learn and that your twin flame has to learn, you experience together and or separately throughout the journey. And it will be a journey, guys. Okay. And what you'll find is that you'll ask yourself, or the other person will start asking you to talk to each other and say, you know, I've never even maybe met you in person. Maybe you met on the internet, or maybe you were friends, and all of a sudden you're having these strong feelings and you cannot shake this person. No matter what you do, no matter what you try, you literally cannot get this person out of your mind. And somehow they get into your heart. And the reason why, if you don't know, the reason why is because you had past prior lives together. You experienced things together, and you're meeting up in this lifetime to either continue the cycle and to learn more lessons from each other. Now, that all sounds amazing, right? Sounds great. You know, I meet you, you know, it doesn't matter where we're from. It doesn't matter how old or how young we are. It doesn't matter the differences. We can be completely, and I mean completely different people, completely different upbringings, completely different belief systems, completely different religious backgrounds. I mean, you can talk about, you know, an alien and another alien meeting. That's kind of, it can be that, just that different. You don't have to be alike, but that's the whole point. The whole point is so that you can learn from each other, right? I can learn so much from someone who's different than I am, but at the same time, it can also be very frustrating, super frustrating, where you want to pull your hair out and you want to say, listen, I learned a lot from you and I'm all set over here. I don't need you anymore. Okay. Cause I'm all set. We're too different. We don't get along. Maybe I don't even really like you. And I don't even know why this is happening. I need some help. But then what happens is you still can't get this person out of your heart and your mind. Everywhere you go, everything you do, this person is still in your mind and it drives you crazy. So this is all normal. This is part of the experience of being a twin flame. Now, to be fair and honest with you, this journey can go on for years, but I do have some insight that I'd like to share with you that will hopefully help you along this journey. And please feel free to forward this to other people, because what happens generally is that one person has the knowledge about the twin flame and the other does not. And what that means is the person that does not have this knowledge will not understand why this is happening. They don't know it's a past life experience. They don't know about the lessons and they don't understand it. So they get very frustrated. And then what happens is usually it becomes a runner and chaser situation, because one person is so either scared, fed up, or just like, I can't take this person anymore, that they run and they just close themselves off and shut down and go, bye, I'm out. I'm not having this. I can't deal with you. You're too much for me. I don't want to deal with these feelings. It's overwhelming me. I don't feel comfortable with this. I feel like most of the time, it feels like you didn't even choose this. I mean, literally, most of the time, I'm going to get close. It feels like you didn't choose this. It's just happening to you. And that's why it's so hard, because you feel like it's just happening and I can't control it. And the truth is, you don't have any control over this. So the best thing you can do is relinquish control. The point of all of this is that you're here to learn lessons from each other, and you will learn them one way or the other. Now, here's the big caveat to all this. You may or may not be with this twin flame in this lifetime. You have lots of karmics and other people that you're supposed to learn lessons from. You can have more than one twin flame. You can have more than one karmic. So you may not sync up in this lifetime. You may meet or get to know each other and say, I can't deal with this. The timing's not right. Again, we're too far away. There's too much distance between us. We're two different people, too much of an age difference, too much of a religious barrier. So many different obstacles can be in your way that you may not actually sync up. So you may meet and then it may not work out for you both. That's okay. You met and you learned something. I guarantee you learned something, and you've learned some lessons, and maybe those lessons are supposed to be continued in the next lifetime. Okay. So just know that that's a possibility, and it happens quite a bit, actually. I was given by Spirit a couple of different downloads about this that I wanted to share with you. And they're very important, because one of the most important thoughts you need to keep in your head is that you don't need to know, if you're like me and you like to control things. I'm the type of person that wants to know what's going on, because I want to know how I am supposed to be reacting to something. I want to prepare for situations, but life's not always like that, right? I mean, life is a journey and it's an experience. And so there's lots of things that you're not going to understand, like this type of relationship. You may not understand it. You may never understand it, because it's super deep. It can be a long journey. Many twin flames know each other for years and years and years, and they never sync up, because one is running and one is chasing. Okay. And they also are known very well for mirroring each other's energy and thoughts. So this could be, and it can go up and down, very volatile, right? So you can think of it this way. You could be having a day where you're thinking, oh my gosh, this person's amazing. I can't believe this. This is so good. And then literally in an hour, you can be thinking, this is not work. This is never going to work out. I mean, this is just stupid. Like, we're too different. We're too far apart. This person doesn't have the knowledge I have. I mean, it's just like, we're like, it's not going to work. What the hell were you thinking? This is stupid. I don't need this in my life. I'm shutting myself off from this. I can't handle this. I need this to go away. I don't have time for this. And then literally 2 hours later, you're like, I just wish this person could like get into my mind and understand me, because we are so alike. Despite all the obstacles, we are meant to be together. Like, that's the bottom line, is somewhere in your heart and your soul, you know that this person understands you on a soul level. And for many of you out there that are healers, empathic, intuitive, even if you're not, you will know and be able to see into this person's heart way better than anybody else. And that's what scares the shit out of the other person and yourself. Because if I can see into you and past all your bravado and all the fronts that you put up about, I'm so cool. I got this going on. I got a lot of options over here. I don't need you. I'm good. Yeah, let's just be friends. But if I can see into your heart and I know that you love me, I know that because I can see through all that bullshit and I can see right into your heart. That will scare the shit out of you, probably. And it will also scare me because I'm a person too. And so if I put up all these fronts and I'm like, I got this going on, and you can see through to my heart, I'll get scared too. Now you've got two scared people, which is like, how's this going to work? Right? But that's all a part of the journey. Okay. This is all a part of you getting to the point where you can let down your walls, let down your vulnerability, let it out there and say, you know what? I don't know why this is happening. I have an idea, but it's not going away. And so maybe if we stop running and chasing and running and chasing and putting up all these fronts and have an honest conversation, things would move forward, or at least we'd both come to an understanding, right? A problem is that a lot of times this doesn't ever happen because the other person is so freaked out or they so just don't want it in their lives. It's just not the right time. It's too many obstacles that they never will be able to be vulnerable enough to open themselves and say, I really love you. And I don't know, there's a lot of obstacles, but out of all the people on the planet, for some reason, I understand you and I feel that you understand me and I feel like you get me and we get each other. So that's a little bit about the process. That's a little bit about what it's about. These type of relationships can go on for years, which can be very, very frustrating for both parties. And as I said, you may never come together, but you also may come together. And there may be a ton of obstacles, but to be honest with you, when you feel something like this so strongly, the obstacles don't even matter. You'll find a way to maneuver to get rid of the obstacles, because when you feel something for someone this strongly, when I can call to your heart and you hear me, and it doesn't matter how much time has passed, when you can hear and feel my call, if I'm upset or I'm scared and you respond, that's rare. That does not happen very often. I mean, think of all the people you know in the world. How many people really get you? Usually it's between 1 and 3. Okay. So have faith. Okay. There are a couple things that Spirit wanted me to impart to you. And I know because this is a difficult journey for a lot of people. And one is, it's a journey, right? You don't need to know everything. You will have ups and downs. It may take a lot of time, but the biggest test for someone is if one person's saying, no, I can't deal with this right now. I cannot. I'm overwhelmed. They start running away. The person on the other end, their biggest test is, how can I still be kind and patient to this person when I have the answers, but they're not ready to hear the answers? And I know that they care for me, but they don't want to see it. It's all about giving them grace. And it can be hard and it can be frustrating and it can make you so mad and it can make you cry and it can break your heart. But it's important that you give them the time to figure it out, because we can't control people, right? This is one of my big lessons in life. I like to be in control. I like to know what's going on in a lot of circumstances in my life, be it personal or professional, but we cannot control other people. And they have two choices. Either they will come to the realization, they will actually stop and recognize it, or they won't. They'll run from it forever. And they may run from it forever. Some people do. And they'll take on another spouse or another partner, and they'll never, ever really acknowledge what this is. And that's super painful to the other person. But again, you can't control somebody. All you can do is give them the grace and wait for them, and basically give them the hints if they ask and say, listen, this is not normal. This is a higher level of commitment. This is a higher level of just connection, right? So accept that you cannot control everything. That's number one. Number two, accept that there's divine timing in the mix here. As I said, you may be on separate continents. You may be years and years apart in age. You may have religious differences. You may be completely different people. In fact, this may be someone who's so stellar opposite you, you'd never even look at them normally because you'd be like, there's just no common ground for us. But twin flames are known for that because remember, we're not looking at the outside. We're looking at the soul. We're looking at what's the heart and the soul of the person, okay? So divine timing is always in effect, but try to understand and know that this may not work out. You have to actually bring that into your consciousness and accept it and embrace it. Because if you don't, here's what's going to happen. You're going to drive yourself crazy and they're going to drive themselves crazy. And then you never will get together because it never goes away. It's always in the back of your mind or the front of your mind. You have to know that this will either happen or it won't. And divine timing is in effect. And you know what? You got to just surrender this to spirit and say, I don't know what's going to happen here, but I just have to let this be what it's going to be, right? If it's going to be, it's going to happen, despite all the obstacles, despite this person running, despite this person not wanting to see the truth, or despite me being holding on so, tightly and wanting to control everything. I have to relinquish control and say, I can only control myself. And if this does not happen in this lifetime, maybe it'll happen in the next lifetime. And at first that can be very difficult for people, but know that this is the best route to take because you can't control people and you don't know if this is going to work out for you. So this actually, in the end, should give you some room to breathe. Okay. But the other thing is you do need to have faith and embrace the journey, because here's the biggest lesson that I can give you. You will learn from each other, right? You may have connected with this person in this lifetime for lessons, as I said. Now, they could be individual lessons. Many times they are. It's not about the two of you being together. If that happens, great. But a lot of times it's about waking you up and to new possibilities, to new frontiers, to new ways of being. As I said, about letting go of control, bringing in divine timing, trusting spirit that everything's going to work out, trusting your own intuition, because you will be tested so many times, because everything on the outside, a lot of times of the person who's running is going to say, you know what, I don't feel this way about you. I'm totally cool over here. I got all these options over here. I'm good. I love you as a friend. I'm all set. I don't need you. It's fine. I don't feel this. I mean, I know it's different, but I don't feel it like you feel it. So I don't know. I'm good. And on the outside, that's going to be hurtful and it can break your heart. But as I said, if you know that this person does feel it and they do love you, right? You just can't push it. You just have to know that you know. And that's, again, a lesson about trusting your intuition, right? So think of all these lessons I've just given you, right? In just a short amount of time. You're learning about divine timing. You're learning about embracing the journey. You're learning that you can't control everything. You're learning that the only thing you can control is yourself. But you're also learning, more importantly than anything, trusting spirit is trusting your own intuition and your own guidance, your internal guidance system, that you know this person is connected to me. I may not know how, I may not know why, but I know we're connected. In a way, I'm not connected with anybody else on the planet. I know they feel me. I know because I feel them. I feel their moods. I feel their tiredness. I feel their happiness. But I also am smart enough to know that maybe they do have other options because they don't want this. Some people just don't want it. And why would you say that? Because it's such a beautiful gift. Well, if you're here watching this, you understand that they don't, right? If you're here watching this, you understand that this is a beautiful gift that's been bestowed upon you. This person is a gift from the universe, from God to you. But they don't know that, or they don't see it that way yet. Sometimes it takes a long time for this knowledge to catch up to them, where they actually turn around and acknowledge it and say, okay, I get it. Let me think about this for a minute. Let me figure this out. Maybe this person's right. Maybe I have gone out and I have played the field and I have talked to other options, but I don't have this connection or this feeling with anybody else. Or why do I see this person as such a beautiful being when everybody else, even if they're cooler and better looking and they have all this other stuff, whatever it is that you want in life, but they don't have the right vibe. They don't have the right beauty that this other person has that I feel connected to. Because this person that you're connected to, you're going to see them as like gorgeous, right? Like the sun, like you're amazing, like you're beautiful in every way. So sometimes they have to actually go out and play the field and realize that this is different, you know? So allow them into your heart, but also know that they may take their own time to recognize what this is. And even then, they may still choose to be with other people. They may still choose to not acknowledge it, or they may acknowledge it, but they'll say there's still too many differences. There's so many scenarios. What I'm trying to do is get you to, it's kind of like a double way of thinking, which isn't normal to most of us, but it's a way of saying, I let you in, but I'm also protecting myself because I can't have my heart broken over and over and over again. Because a lot of times what will happen is they'll be in and out of your life. You know, they'll come in, they'll talk, it's really great, you feel great, they feel great, and then they'll run away again, right? They come back in, talk, everything's awesome, and then they run away again. Why is this happening? Because they're dipping their toe into the pool and they're realizing that this is real. It's been some time. Let me try again. I got to get rid of this. I don't have time for this. Let me go meet other people. And then again, they realize it's a pattern. It's a cycle. They realize over and over that you're still there and you're still just as amazing as you were the first time I met you, right? But for the other person, it's incredibly painful because they're in, they're out, they're in, they're out, right? So what you need to do is you need to step back and take back your power, okay? This means that when they come towards you, you're like, hey, it's cool, let's talk. But I'm not gonna like lay my heart out there on a silver platter for you to, you know, cut up again, right? Because that's not helpful for me. You can't keep getting your heart broken over and over, especially if this is gonna be a long relationship for years to come. And it very well could be, okay? So take responsibility for yourself. Know where your boundaries are, but don't put up so many barriers that they become insurmountable for anyone to climb, right? Because that's what happens with a lot of twin flames. When the person comes in, it's great, but after the person leaves and they get hurt, and this happens a couple times, the other person's like, screw this, I'm not doing this anymore. My barriers are going up. And then they become so big that no one can get back in. This person can't get back in. And when that person has the realization, now you're at a stalemate, because now this other person's like, you've hurt me too much. I'm done with you. So it's almost like then the roles are flipped. Now the runner is the chaser is the runner, and we start all over again. I know, insane. But at the end of the day, this is all about unconditional love for yourself and for other people. It's all about you acknowledging that this is different, you acknowledging that you can't control this other person. And you know what? If it comes together, it comes together. If it doesn't, you have to be okay with letting it go. That's the biggest lesson, besides knowing your intuition is right about this person, because that will give you some peace and closure and the distance that you need. Because sometimes these things go on for 7, 8, 10 years or more. You can't keep getting your heart broken for 10 years. It's just not going to work that way for you. I mean, I couldn't do it, right? So you've got to, it's really about teaching you to stand in your power. This whole relationship is about you learning how strong you are, but also how giving you are, to this person, right? You're giving this person chance after chance after chance, the chance to learn about themselves, about what this is, about how great it could be. But at the same time, you're also giving yourself power by saying, if it works, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I'm still going to be okay either way. And it does take time to get to this place. So don't beat yourself up if it doesn't. But this is where you want to be. It doesn't mean that you're insensitive to them or you don't want to talk to them, because you do. But you have to protect yourself too. But you are learning about not putting up so many boundaries that someone else can't get in. You're learning to trust your intuition. You're learning that there is divine timing and effect, and you are definitely getting lessons out of this. Some are more difficult than others, but if you look at where you were before you met this person, I can guarantee you're going to be stronger. You're going to be more prepared. You're going to have learned something about yourself and someone else. And if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. So I wanted to just put this out there today. I know this is a big subject. I know that people really want to know all about it, but it is for your benefit. It is something that's happening for you, not to you. And you and this person have a special connection that is rare. And for any of you watching out there that this is all new to you, I would so encourage you to not run away from the other person, because the other person is probably confused, just as confused as you are. They may be more spiritually farther along, they may be more ascended, but still it hits both people like a bolt of lightning. And both people are like, what? Like, this is crazy. Like, this is what? Like, that's how it feels. So you try to be gentle to yourself and to the other person, right? But if you're new to this and you feel like running away, I would strongly encourage you, please don't do that, because it leaves the other person heartbroken. I mean, heartbroken, crying on the floor, like, why is this happening? This is painful. And then what happens a lot of times is that other person's like, I can't go through this again. I can't do this. I can't keep going through this, and I can't stay in this energy. And so then they put up the barriers. And then when that person does come back, now they're like, no. Mm-mm. And then that's when things end. And then a lot of times people go through their whole lives wishing they could have changed that one time when the barrier was up. Now, I'm not suggesting that you let this other person walk all over you. I'm not suggesting that, because that's not cool. Don't let this person continually come in, break your heart, and leave. And then they go out and have other options and they don't give a shit. Don't do that. That's not fair. This is about you being in your power, you understanding that this person doesn't get it yet. And you will help them as much as you can. But really, they need to open up and really look at it. That's their job. Your job is to handle yourself. Stay in your power, right? But you don't let them so close again that they're going to break your heart, because you know this could go on for a long time. All right. So I hope this helped you guys. This is like my second video on this. I know so many people are going through this. I know it can be super painful. I hope this helped you. Please leave me some comments. I'd love to know how else I can give you some information, but do know that you are getting lessons, that nobody's perfect. Everybody's stumbling through this. There's no manual on this stuff, right? That's what we're trying to put these videos out here for, so that you do understand that there's information out there for people who have either gone through it and experienced it or are experiencing it. And it is happening for you. And I hope that you can get together with that person, because if you do, it would be great, because when you can have that connection and you know that you can think about someone and they're listening to you and you're picking up on their vibe and you can reach out and help them and vice versa, that's amazing. We all want that. We all want that connection. But at the same time, it can be super, super strong to the point where it scares both people. So just know that it's happening for you to stand in your power and for you to be the amazing person you are. All right, guys, hope this helped. Talk to you soon. Thanks.